How's it going? It looks like we are now live. We are starting the show a little different tonight. Willie's like,
I
what?
didn't realize it. Yeah, I'm still like getting ready. Wow.
I just saw something that said you're live pop up. I mean,
I
we
didn't
even
even get an
said
intro or
there was a guest
anything.
on here and everything.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, right now, we weren't sure if we were going to do a show tonight or not. So it's kind of like a last minute, like, let's see if we can get a couple guests. We still haven't seen Jordu pop in yet, but we do have Jeff here. Jeff is from Graveyard Ghouls production, making stuff that is spooky and cool, and all of us haunters absolutely love. What's up, Molly? Molly Zombies in the house.
Molly,
Candlesticks is here. So,
Cowboy Candlesticks, what's up?
so like we were saying, it's kind of a informal start to the show. We all just kind of popped on here. Chris is on here still.
Yeah, we did.
To the point where Will was like, what's going on? So, Jeff, I appreciate you coming on tonight. I know that, I mean, were you on Fear Expo Live like maybe a year ago or a couple years ago?
This is my first time.
First time, and we're doing the old informal type one. He's gonna be like, I ain't going back to those guys. They're a bunch of hacks.
No, I've watched it, but I haven't been on it yet.
Well, we got Willie on here tonight too. So, Willie,
Yeah.
what you been up to, man?
Oh my gosh, I'm tired. I am exhausted. Just getting so much stuff done. It's almost like we're past the halfway to Halloween, right? So like everyone's getting busy last minute. I mean, I'm sure Jeff is doing some last minute orders and pushing them out to some haunts, but like, I don't know. I got some projects in the pipeline, seeing what's gonna work, what's gonna pop off this season. So I'm just excited. But I know some good things about HauntCon coming in, which was pretty interesting to hear. How about you?
Oh, Chris, I mean, Will just said that. I mean, what are you doing right now? Halfway to Halloween? Are you getting all ready?
I haven't touched my haunt yet.
I tore mine
doing?
apart back in January, and I haven't touched it since. I mean, I've been
Oh my gosh. I think everyone's just on cruise control. You know what I mean? If it happens, it happens.
What's up, Tyler? Scary face in the house.
What's up, Ty? Yeah.
Don't worry, those who are watching, we are going to stop in time for the debate. Willie's actually live at the hall, and he's going to sneak in and get past Secret Service and see if he can, get an interview with.
I couldn't even get into Atlanta for the debate. Like they were like, there's going to be road freezes, and they're going to block the roads, and Biden's coming in with his motorcade, and you got Trump, and it's a lot going on. Then you got the football happening with Panama and the U.S. It's a lot going on down there. So I just stayed close to home, and I think I saw Jelly Roll sitting there eating with us. Which is crazy. Yeah.
No, that was just a bum. He was just chilling.
Oh! You're up for that.
What's up, Ray? Right on his way to Atlanta. Well, we've got a few people watching, so why don't we put Jeff in the spotlight, and let's go ahead and start interviewing Jeff a little bit and find out a little bit about his company. And I mean, last minute things coming up for the haunt season for those of us who haven't touched our haunt yet.
Oh my
goodness. I'm going to go ahead and turn over to Will. And Will, why don't you ask Jeff a few questions, and let's get to know who this guy is who owns Graveyard Ghoul Productions.
That just jumped in. What's up, Jeff? Please tell everyone who you are and your company.
I'm Jeff Singheiser, and with Graveyard Ghoul Productions, and we make mainly animatronics, some static figures, some actor props.
Nice. What inspired you to start Graveyard Ghoul, and how did the company get its name?
Yeah, that's a good question. I've been into Halloween and haunting my whole life, like everyone else, and my wife and I, we own a haunted house as well, and So we started Graveyard Ghoul before we started the Haunt, and then we're kind of doing both of them right now. So the name, one of my favorite movies is The Body Snatcher with Boris Karloff and Bela Lugosi, and I kind of was going for something in that vibe. Like if you look at our logo, it's kind of based on that movie, and you know that's kind of where that came from.
So having a business and having a haunt, seeing both sides of it, which one do you prefer the most?
I love both of them. I love making stuff, and everything that I make is in our haunt as well. And then I love it all. You know, there's nothing better than when the haunt's open and people are there, and you know everything's working and it's great and everything's.
You know that's right.
Yeah, everything's working because they bought it from Graveyard Ghoul Productions, so it doesn't break down.
You could have been saying, plug it in, plug it in, Jeff. Let's go.
I was just gonna say that too. Well, you know that a vendor who also owns a haunted attraction started out building stuff for his haunted attraction because he was tired of shit breaking. Straight up. I mean, that's why.
Right.
I mean,
and you understand there's nothing worse than when you're trying to get open or you are open and something breaks in the middle of your show. It's a pain. It
is. How was Halloween at your place, at your house when you were growing up?
Oh, it was great. It's obviously my favorite holiday, you know, and my wife's favorite holiday. So we always did a huge Halloween display and Halloween party before we kind of got into the industry. We were in the industry, but not active in the industry. So it's always been a big deal. It's, you know, it's Christmas.
That's right.
I gotta let you know, Jeff, I'm bummed. I just went to your website. I kind of like checked out for a second, and I was looking for the guy with the puppet sitting on his lap. Like, I was like, come on, I know he's on there.
I have my website. I have somebody working on my website to update it. I be honest, I slack on the website. If you go to the Facebook page, everything's on the Facebook page. But
Chris, can you pull that up? He's better at the Facebook side of it.
Yeah.
So, what am I putting up?
On the Facebook side for Graveyard Ghouls, he's got the what was his name? What did you call him? I can't remember what he was called.
What's that? It's Mr. Dark and Graves.
Mr. Dark and Graves. It's the one with the puppet on his lap. It was cool.
I'm heading up to the page now.
So no, I mean that's the coolest thing about the vendors. Oh, I actually got our next guest calling me, so I'm gonna go on mute for a second and like.
Sure. You didn't want to ask your question. You're just gonna just leave. This show is very different. Well, I have a question for you. What is the creative process behind designing the new products? How do you decide on the theme and the details?
I kind of, I make what, you know, we think is cool. And, you know, hopefully other people think it's cool too. And, you know, some people have because we sell them, but I kind of go off what I like. I know I'm not big into Christmas. You know, my wife is on me every year to do a Christmas haunt and my heart's just not in it. We don't really have anything for that side of it because I just don't have the passion for it. I have the passion for, you know, I have the passion for what I make, and I think it comes through in our products. And I don't want to do something half-hearted just to try and make money. I want something that I think is awesome.
Fully passionate, fully inspired. I hear that. Look at that. Look at the Facebook page. Wow. What do we got there?
That's just a one-off thing that I was doing for our haunt. I just put it on the page, and then that puppet that you see there was a new product this year. And then our scarecrow was pretty popular. It's pretty loud. I got.
Can you blow up the scarecrow, Chris?
I got Matt from.
Where do you see the scarecrow at?
You were just on it. Go down. Yeah, right there.
Next one, down in the corner there. Okay. That's the puppet, and then that's the scarecrow.
Lord have mercy.
Yeah, he lunges forward, and he's loud and violent, and
nice.
Yeah.
I like that. How much does that run for?
I believe it's $23.99.
You hear that right here, guys. $24.99 for that awesome Fort lunging scarecrow. Does the eyes light up? Does the mouth move?
It doesn't. No. The arms move, and he comes forward at you.
Nice.
A pretty good distance.
I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing about it. I mean, everything you had, I got an opportunity to walk through your booth, and everything that you had, I mean, it was built so well. And that's the difference. A lot of these animatronic companies that I've seen, whether it's in the hunt industry or, there's other, even the film industry, they don't take as much time unless they own a haunt. I've just seen it over and over. I mean, I've seen welds that, they're not going to last for a 3,000 person night.
Yep.
I mean, or multiple ones.
I've seen other props that they don't put any type of coating over the steel. It's just bare steel, and it takes just, a little extra time to cover it so it doesn't rust to pieces, just the humidity is going to make the steel rust if you don't put anything on it.
So true. You guys have such amazing products. I mean, you are definitely, in my opinion, a company that once people start to realize how good your products are, how well they're made, you guys are going to hit it so big so quick. It's just a matter of people starting to look beyond, just
what's out there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there's some big names. You just got to break the ice. That's the tough part. But
right. No, and we know a couple big names where I tell you what, I spend every year still fixing some of their props.
Don't you call them out.
I didn't say a word.
I went to a haunt. Don't you call them out. Because they'll say it at their haunt. Yeah, I got this from...
Yeah, I'm not saying anything.
We ain't saying nothing.
Well, the good news is Jordu is going to be ready for us at 8:30. So Jordu is in the house. So we will have Jordu schell coming on here as well. So that's perfect.
Awesome.
Both of our guests. So I'll get all professional now.
Yeah, please do. So I have a question for Jeff. How do you keep your designs fresh and innovative in a market that's continually evolving? How do you keep it fresh and popping?
I don't know. I'll get inspired by something. For instance, one of our new products this year was that animatronic puppet, and we went on a haunt tour last year, and we were in a haunt, and they had a scene where they had an actor was like in a live puppet rig, and it really stuck with me, and I was thinking about it, and I'm like, we were gonna put something like that in our haunt, like with an actor, and then I thought, like maybe we could animate something to to do that, and so that's kind of where that came from. It comes from all over, but stuff that I think is cool, and I just try and figure out how to do it, basically.
Yeah, and you know what? And it was so funny because then they are right there. They will show up every day. They won't be begging for things. They'll be loyal to you.
Yeah,
well,
and you made every day is the big thing.
Well, speaking of
they'll
that,
clock it on time.
Yes.
So one of the things that we do at our haunt, I started doing it 5 years ago, and I'm in level like 9, is our automatic drop panels.
Mm-hmm.
So did you start doing those at your haunt as well? I know you
haven't done those yet, but I saw yours and they looked great.
We have a sign up in our costume room. I swear, as they're getting ready and they go to the makeup room, they have to pass a sign that says, "Work hard enough to not get replaced by an animatronic."
That's funny. I won't name who or anything, but I was talking with one of the customers that purchased one of the animatronics, and he said kind of the same thing. He said, maybe these actors, he goes, I'm trying to replace as many as I can, and maybe they'll get the hint that they need to pick it up a little bit and show up, and
Yeah, and it's
Go
not
ahead.
like we're asking a lot. Some actors are absolutely amazing,
Exactly.
but some actors
like me.
They call in and they're like, "Oh well, I just don't feel right tonight," and then they show up and they walk through their haunt with the buddies, and it's like, dude, you called it.
Whoa. Tell me about it. Don't get me started on that. Do not get me started on that. I'm like, aren't you sick? Like, what are you doing? Oh, I went to a Halloween party and now I'm here with my friends.
Well, we heard one that they didn't know if they could make it the next night because their sibling might be getting married. I'm like, wouldn't you know that a little more
Might
than 12
be.
hours in advance? Like,
Might be.
right.
They be coming up with great stories. You be like, hold on, this was for the book.
Yeah.
So I have a question. Go back to your projects. Do you have a favorite product or project that you've worked on, and what made it special?
I'm pretty proud of the puppet. That's something I hadn't. Maybe somebody's done it and I haven't seen it, but I haven't seen anybody do anything like that. And what? Yeah, and the Ouija table, which I can't.
Wait, who's that over there beside you whispering?
That's my wife.
Hey, welcome to the party. We started it without no intro or anything. How are you?
Bad hair.
Well, welcome to Fear Expo Live.
Thank
I
you.
was like, I heard some whispering going on.
This is the outtake episode, just so you know.
Wait, so you said the Ouija board is one of the coolest things. Did you have a hand into that creative process?
Yeah, I did. I'm
talking about wifey right there.
Well, I sold some stuff to Woods of Terror and the year before, and Eddie had asked about it. It's something that I kind of had in my head, but I had never pulled the trigger on. And he asked if I could do something like that, and so I started playing with it, and eventually we brought it back to the show the next year, and that's where that came from. So I wish I could take full credit for it, but I can't. So
wait, hold on. Can we get it back up here? Because I want to see the puppet and I want to see the Ouija board. Chris, if you could pull that back up so we can see it, because I want to check it out. Is there a video on your Facebook page?
Yeah, there's videos of everything on Facebook.
Yeah, if you could grab that, Chris, that'd be awesome. Let's see. I think maybe way up top. Is that it?
Yeah,
is the video up top?
It's probably in a post. I posted all the videos.
Gotcha.
But yeah,
well,
the planchette moves around the board. And we have ours in our haunt. We have it like on a trigger, so when you walk into a room, the planchette starts moving on its own. And yeah, there's
nice. There it is. Look at that.
Wow,
that's cool.
So you could put this in a scene. You could put it with an actor or a whole bunch of static props in one actor.
Yep.
And do something really cool in it, huh?
Yep. We have one in a room in our haunt, and like I said, we have it on a motion sensor, so they walk by it and it starts moving, and it people. Even at haunt shows, people will like make a big arc around it. Some people just don't like that type of thing. They're,
yeah.
I always tell them, we decommissioned this one. You're fine. But
I love it.
What is the price on that one?
It's $6.99.
And if you wanted to get it before haunt season, is it available where you can get it before haunt season?
Yes, I have it in stock right now.
I think that would go really cool in the front of ours.
Well, with you creating some amazing products, Jeff, what are some of the biggest challenges you face in creating and distributing your products?
I guess just in the haunt industry, there's everybody's heard of some of the big names, and it's just cracking into that, basically, letting people know that we're out here and we're doing what we're making and that it's quality stuff. And, some people have been burned, and we've been burned by some companies, and, so I understand how things go, but, I don't want to end up on a t-shirt at a haunt show that in a bad way.
I agree.
Oh my goodness. Don't get me started. This industry cracks me up. Okay. What trends are you currently seeing in the Halloween and horror prop industry, and how are you adapting to them?
When we first started, we were making costumes. We started out, that's kind of how our company started, just distressing and stuff. And I like doing it, but I kind of got burned out on it because you never know what size somebody's going to want. I was constantly having to make 10 of different sizes. It was really labor intensive. And so I kind of switched to static characters, and I would distress my stuff, and I figured I would only have to do one, and I knew who it was going to fit because it was going to fit my character. And then it seemed like there was kind of a hole. Nobody was really making animatronics. There were a few big companies, but nobody. It was kind of a void for a while. It seems like it's kind of coming back now, and there's a few more companies that are getting into it. But that's kind of what I really like to do. I like animating stuff. I like trying to figure out how to make it move and what's going to look good. And
look how good the movement is on
so
these.
That's the puppet that you're talking about.
That is, yes.
That's such good movement too. It's not jerky. It's perfect. It would work so well in a scene.
Yeah, we have cool. We put flow controls on everything, so it's not just slamming, full speed and gonna snap everything off in the first 2 weeks of your show. And so we try and build it right, because again, we don't want to have to work on stuff during the show, and I know nobody else does either.
No,
right.
Definitely not.
You mentioned that you have inspiration from other attractions, by visiting. Have you collaborated with other artists, designers, or companies? If so, could you share some memorable experiences?
Not yet. I haven't really collaborated with anybody. I'm friends with a lot of other vendors and people in the industry, and we buy stuff for our haunt from them. We go on a lot of haunt tours, and we've been to a lot of haunts over the years. We've been to some of the biggest ones. We got to see House of Shock before it closed, and we try to stay up on that.
Oh, House of Shock. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah, we actually made a special trip to New Orleans whenever they said it was closing, and then they stayed open another year after that. So they got us, but that's okay. We wanted to see it, so yeah. But we wanted to see it, and it was well worth it, and you can't ever go wrong in New Orleans.
You put on a good show there, yes.
Yeah.
So, what are your future plans for Graveyard Ghoul? Are there any projects or products in your pipelines that you're about to bring out?
Yes, I have several new products that I'm working on. So
can we get the exclusive?
I can tell you one of them is I want to do something. I love our logo character. That like I said, that's one of my favorite movies, and so I'm doing something along those lines with something in that character. So I'm sculpting on it right now, and we'll see what happens. But
nice,
yeah,
that's what's up. Where can everyone find you?
GraveyardGhoulProductions.com or GraveyardGhoul.com will take you there too. I own both of them. So,
and if you need something before Halloween, reach out to Jeff. He's still got some stuff in stock. So
I do have some stuff in stock.
Yep. Let's go.
I'm eyeballing that Ouija board. That Ouija board's pretty awesome. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I like it
cool.
too.
Good job with that one.
Well, thanks, Jeff. I appreciate you coming on. And I know that we'll be seeing you again in the near future. So you just take care of yourself, and everyone out there, make sure you get a hold of Jeff at Graveyard Ghoul Productions.
Yep. Thank you, guys.
All right, we'll see you later, Jeff.
See ya.
Have a great season.
Thank you. You guys too.
Take care.
Very talented.
That was cool. I love it when we get animatronic and haunt owners on the show.
I know, that's crazy. So we open up a business and we have a haunt. So that's good. He knows both. What's up, Mason? Mason's in the house. What, Mason? We got your gift. We're hanging it. Yeah. We got
the little dudes on our shoulders. Well, we've got another first time here on Fear Expo on our outtake night. We've got Jordu schell.
He's about to be on my show, and now I got to use my questions. No, now I got to use my questions that I'm going to ask on my show.
There we go.
On this show, and they come up with more questions on my show. What is up with that?
I gotta switch this up because
let me listen. Let me tell you. I met this man in the Hot Con, and I tried not to fan out. I was like, dude, like Jordu schell was in front, and I'm not gonna say he was. He was stressed, but I was like, that's Jordu schell right there. Like that's Jordu schell right there. I'm like, if I tell my dad, that's Jordu schell right there. So it was great meeting him and getting to know him, and just seeing his personality is awesome. He is an artist from the West Coast. You can tell.
Well,
Let's go.
I'm ready for Jordu to come out. Let's get Jordu on here.
All right, there he is.
He is.
What's up, man? How are you?
Hi, what's up, Millie? What's up?
Nothing much. It's good to see you.
Yeah, I just want to make a quick correction. I'm not actually from the West Coast.
Right, you're not from the West Coast. You're from Pennsylvania area, but you are
Philadelphia. Yes,
Philadelphia. Sorry,
Pennsylvania area. Yes.
All right, Philadelphia. My bad. Because I remember you had a debate in this with this. So yes, how you doing, man?
I'm good. What's going on, man? I feel good.
Oh my gosh, I'm just excited to have you on here and this. Ask you questions to see what's new with your projects. Where are you at right now? Are you on the West Coast or you're on the East Coast right now?
No, right now I'm in Los Angeles. I'm here in my studio. You can see a bunch of junk around.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm sitting here. I'm actually waiting for some friends of mine to come over who are running a new horror conglomerate called Gorgasma. And
really,
you should look them up and follow them on Instagram because I think they're going to blow up.
Okay, I will.
Horror content and merchandise on a level that's never been seen before. I think they'd be a great tie-in for you guys as well because they're very ambitious. They've already made some short films and come up with some products, and I'm going to do some mask stuff for them because that's what I love doing, and they know it. So,
yo, we got the exclusive here on Fear Expo Live. Jordu schell, let's go. Make that connection happen. We're ready. We are so ready for them. So just please put yourself out there for the ones that don't know, for the young ones that don't know. Who is Jordu schell?
I think Cobwebs and Candlesticks don't know who he is, so we need to find out who.
Well, I'm an artist. I'm a fantasy artist is what I call myself. I really like. I'm primarily a sculptor. That's the art form that I'm best at. And I have been sculpting and designing monsters for the Halloween industry for well over 30 years, probably about 37 years or so, since I was about 19. Actually, no, before that.
Wow.
Since I was probably 17. So that's 40 years. I just turned 57. So yeah, 40 years. I had my first start.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. I had my first start when I was putting masks out of my own from Philadelphia under the company name of Weirdum. And I was just super inspired by the work of Distortions Unlimited, particularly, and Don Post and Be Something Studio and House of Horror and Death Studios. But Distortions Unlimited is the company that really, really messed with my mind. Like when I saw their work for the first time when I was only 14.
Wow.
A long time ago. I don't think I've ever been more inspired in my life.
That's awesome.
To be creative. And what's really magical about it is that when I was 20 years old and I took my stuff to the Trans World exhibition way back when it was in Chicago.
Okay.
Ed Edmonds, the owner and sculptor of Distortions Unlimited, saw my work and was like, wow, this guy's really good. So he flew out to Philadelphia to sweet talk me into coming to Colorado. So I did. And I went to Colorado. You should get him on the show sometime. But I went out to Colorado for about half a year, had a great time just sculpting and designing for about 5 or 6 months. And then not too long after I got back to Philadelphia, because I got homesick. I was only 20, I got a call from somebody in Hollywood to come out and start doing special effects work. So that's where I landed, and that's where I've been ever since. But I have a very strong relationship with Distortions. I go back there all the time to do some stuff. We were on a show called Making Monsters together.
One of my favorite shows.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we were on a show called Making Monsters on the Travel Channel about 7 or 8 years ago. And, that further cemented my relationship with Ed and Marcia.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, Ed's one of my best friends. I mean, it's every time I say it, I kind of have to pinch myself because Ed was such and is such a hero to me. He's not just some guy I know in the business. He's like my idol.
Mm-hmm.
And I still think to this day, as much of Cool Masks as I've done, Ed is the best. I mean, he is the one who launched mask making to another level. He took it to another level back when it was, still kind of crude.
Right.
And he launched a new level of design and finesse and realism that no one else was doing.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's a lot of history behind how he came to that. But all of which I know, like I consider myself sort of a mask historian. I am so obsessed with the art form and I love mask making so much that I've learned a lot about it. Now,
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I know some people that are more obsessive than me, particularly about Don Post. There are people who are completely maniacally obsessed with it. There's a guy named Dante Renta who is a mask collector and uber enthusiast who has a binder of information that he carries with him.
Wow.
All about Don Post. He takes notes and, but I know a great deal about Distortions Unlimited. I know a lot about its history. I know about why Ed started it. It was because he lost a costume contest and was so annoyed. He said, well, I'm never going to lose a costume contest again. So he started making these unbelievable masks. And anyway, but enough about that. Basically, I've just always been a longtime fan of science fiction and horror.
Yes.
And, I just wanted to make what was in my head a reality.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Were you self-taught when you started to sculpt?
Yes.
And then you would. Mm-hmm.
I'm self-taught completely. I mean, I never took an art class, but the thing is, an art class can teach you technique, but it cannot teach you passion. And passion is what really pushes the artist forward.
Yeah.
If you're not passionate about it, you like it, or you say, people who say stuff like, I kind of want to be an artist. They're not artists. You don't want to be an artist. You're just chosen, or
right.
It's just in you.
Yeah.
You can't. There's no escape. You either are an artist or you are not.
Totally.
And people are like, I want to be an artist. Well, you won't be, because you're not. Being an artist, to me, I mean, I have a relatively narrow definition of artist, and some people take exception to it. I don't give a fuck. My definition of an artist is someone who has to create. Someone who has to create to stay sane. I would be making monster masks if I was in a jail cell, if I was on an island, if I was the last person on Earth. You know what I mean? I just have to do it.
Right.
And to me, that's a true artist. Now, there are a lot of people with talent, but if someone's more interested in making money than being creative, even if they're talented, they're not an artist.
Right.
If someone is more interested in fame and glamour than they are creating, they're not an artist.
Right.
If you happen to come by those things as you become a better and better creator, well, that's great. But that's never the point.
Mm-hmm.
The point of creating is to express yourself. And artists are people who have to express. That's just the way it is. That's the way they choose to express themselves.
Wow, right here, y'all. Look, we got some nuggets, some knowledge that just been bestowed upon us.
This isn't knowledge. This is opinion.
He's
this
preaching.
Is opinion.
I love
No,
it.
but this is good talk because a lot of people need to know this. They gotta, a lot of people they inspire to be these things, but then when it gets so hard, they throw in the towel. And it's like you don't give up on your passion. You have to keep on going. Can you walk us through your creative process from concept to completion? How do you approach a new project?
Well, I'm doing some stuff right now for a fairly prominent mask company, and they wanted me to design some sort of super masks, like just really incredibly detailed, big and bold. And so oftentimes I'll go back to old ideas I never attacked or did, but they weren't that good. Or sometimes I'll just have like a vague idea in my mind, and I'll just start drawing with that, trying to make that vague idea concrete. Sometimes a full-blown thing pops into my head, and I just have to get it out.
Wow.
You never really know when inspiration is going to strike as an artist. You can be walking down the street and you see a gnarled tree that looks like something, and you go, wow, that's neat. Or you might see some weird looking person in Starbucks. You never know what is going to hit you at when. You might see a movie with a glimpse of something in it, and you go, oh, that was cool. And you may have interpreted it completely differently than what it is, but that interpretation might be cooler than what you actually saw.
Right.
There's so many things. I mean, other painters and other artists' work inspires me. Obviously, the multitude of fantasy cinema and horror movies I've seen. People I see, all of it goes into what Stephen King calls the mental sieve. Some things filter through like water, and some things get stuck in the screen.
Yep. Yeah.
And those things that get stuck are the things that I draw on.
Well, speaking of things getting stuck and seeing somebody weird at a coffee shop, I was in Portland one day and I was at Voodoo Donuts and I saw a unicorn placing an order of donuts, and that's when I learned the phrase "keep Portland weird." This person
did
not want to
learn that maybe you need psychiatric help, because if you're seeing unicorns order food,
this girl had a unicorn and didn't want to tell the lady, I want the pink donut. She was like, "Rrr!" and I was behind her, and I was like, it's too early for this. It's Portland.
Okay, get out.
Look, someone from Portland, get on the call.
Store, go to your safe space, lady.
Right.
Shut up. Are you kidding me? Fuck that.
I'm dead serious. It was too early in the morning. I was in the cold waiting in line, and she could. And I did, and she was stomping her feet, and I was like, if this lady don't tell what the order, I'm gonna go crazy. And my patient was very like, and they were like, well, keep Portland weird, Will. This is what they do. And I'm like, no, this is not what we do.
No, don't keep Portland weird. Keep the world sane, please. And don't go into a fucking restaurant and act like a fucking animal. There's something, I'm sorry for all the foul language.
This is why I love Jordan.
That really gets my goat, because there is this group of people that
he gonna tell like it is, y'all.
They want to identify as an animal. If you're transgender, I don't care. I just don't care. That's your business. That's your life. You can do what you want. I have no judgment on that. No hatred towards it. No fear of it. I'm not homophobic or anything. However, a line is drawn when people start thinking that they are animals. I mean, human beings are animals, but someone told me recently that at some school, they had to shoot down a resolution for there to be a litter box in the classroom.
Yeah, I've heard it.
For kids to use if they identify as a fucking animal.
A kitten. They're a cat.
You know, that's where
shit.
animal abuse needs to come in. I'm sorry. That's where you need to hit a dog over the nose with a newspaper. That's where you need to smack a cat.
Like what?
Scratching. I'm sorry. No.
I'm just saying you was talking about weird people and filters that stuck out, and that was I can never forget it. I literally was like, what's going on?
Inspire me. That would piss me off because that's just stupid and you're wasting other people's time.
And all I wanted was a voodoo donut.
Punch her in the horn.
Yeah, so we got a couple of questions for you real quick. Ray Wright is asking, out of all of your creations, what is your most prized favorite of all?
Good question.
Well, I've got several that I think are unusually good.
Is it this one?
No. I think that's good, but take that away. Get out of
here. He said no with the quickness. He looked, was like, no.
But I have a mask called Phaedron that is a mushroom-headed alien and a long neck that I think is particularly nice. I have one called Astro Zombie, I think is very well done. I have one called Hybrid 2 that I think is very nice. I mean, I've done a lot of stuff that I'm proud of, so it's hard to not narrow it down to one, but I don't know. I love all my monsters.
Yes. Yeah. We do.
There's the answer.
Right.
I love them all.
Right. You worked on some iconic films and projects. What do you consider to be the most significant milestone in your career so far?
Damn, Willie.
I'm trying to tell you, this was for Yep, That's Scary. This was for Yep, That's Scary, Jordu schell.
Well, I mean, probably the biggest thing I've worked on, I don't know how significant it is because I thought the movie was terrible, but it was probably
wait, say that one more time.
I said it's probably the most significant, but I did think the movie was terrible. Avatar.
Oh, okay.
The best movie I've worked on was called Galaxy Quest. And I worked on a few that people go ooh about, but I think are stupid, like Edward Scissorhands and shit like that. 300.
What? Hold on! Stop the presses.
See what I mean?
Do like Edward Scissorhands was the movie for my family. Like that was just far out and oh my goodness, I love that.
How fucked up is your family, Willie? That's their.
And we're great. Okay, we like Freddie.
Edward Scissorhands. Really?
I love the movie. It was so good and unique. I mean, come on, Tim Burton, come through with this. Like, if you guys are watching, let me know in the comments. Edward Scissorhands. That was a great.
Don't try to get people on your side.
Yeah, I
am. You know, there's a very famous baseball player named Willie Mays.
Yeah, I know. I get it all the time.
Yeah, they're not
all
related.
The time, and then Free Willy and all that stuff. Yeah,
I bet he didn't give a shit about no Edward Scissorhands.
Well, I don't think he was around, but I was, and I loved it. Good job. Okay, so we got Edward. So you pretty much you said Edward Scissorhands wasn't your fave, but you had fun on that one. I mean,
I met some good people on that movie. You know, it was only the third movie I'd worked on.
Oh my goodness, that is. See, look, he says it so nonchalant, but I'm like, what?
Willie, you have to understand something, man. Somebody has to do this shit. I was one of the people that did this shit. It's not really, these things become famous and become iconic or well known, but somebody's got to do it. I was just one of the many people that was involved. You know, it's not
so cool.
Like I was chosen by the gods to work on this silly movie.
I mean, come on, though.
It had Winona Ryder in it. How amazing can it really be?
Don't let her. Don't walk her into Walmart. She'll steal something. But yes, I mean, I know. Oh, sorry. Thank you. Edward Scissorhands is the bomb. We love it. Okay.
I'm glad you were entertained.
Yes. Do you prefer a medium or materials that you like to work with? How does your choice of materials influence your design?
I wouldn't say the choice of medium really influences it. I mean, there are three primary clays I use: water clay, polymer clay, and oil-based clay. Water clay, the best kind is called WED clay, WED, which stands for Walter Elias Disney, because it was developed by the Disney company at Imagineering to sculpt theme park attraction figures. Then there's Chavant NSP Medium, which is an oil and wax-based plasticine, which never dries out, which you can reuse. And I use that to make a lot of maquettes. Water clay is used for large work like masks, life-size figures. We use it almost exclusively at Distortions Unlimited. And then finally, there's polymer clay, which is like Super Sculpey or Cernit, which you use for fairly small work. I do know a guy who uses it for life-size work. I don't know how, but he does. And this stuff is a polymer plastic that once you've sculpted it, you can put it in the oven and bake it at a certain temperature. And when you remove it, it's hard. Or in some cases, in the case of cosplay, it's flexible. So that's a fantastic material that I like using a lot. But they all have their place and they all have their uses, and I use them all.
That's cool. That's really cool. I just got schooled today, y'all. I'm loving this interview. This is great. What do you think about 3D printing?
Well, I mean, it's a way to get things done quickly. You know, I don't know. I mean, I know ZBrush, which is one of the most prominent 3D modeling softwares that there is. But it's nowhere near as fun as the tactile work of sculpture. And I know a lot of people that, rely on it almost exclusively. To be honest, if you can do both, if you can sculpt and use ZBrush, usually you're going to respect 3D modeling a little less than actual sculpting, because ZBrush is a hell of a lot easier. It sculpts the other half for you.
Oh, no way.
Working.
Wow.
It's not, you can make it any scale you want in printing as long as your printer's big enough. It's just nowhere near as labor intensive. And some people say, well, that's not true, but it is. I don't care what they say. They're wrong, or they're lying, or they're trying to justify it. But sculpting a likeness, for instance, is a million times easier, because you can literally take a photo of a person, overlay it onto your sculpture, and move the clay, the digital clay, into position. So you have the likeness. Do you know how hard it is with clay?
Right.
You're just relying on photographs. I mean, I've learned some tricks from my friend Amelia Ralcroft in England, who's an amazing likeness person, the best in the world. But it still comes down to how good your eye is.
Yeah.
Just there's no code or cheap shortcut. There are a lot of cheap shortcuts in 3D modeling. So.
Right. That's cool. Are you offering any classes currently?
At the moment, no, but I may start some online classes again soon.
Okay.
Nice.
Would you be at HauntCon in Atlanta 2025?
What month is that?
I believe April 10th through the 13th.
Yeah, it's actually the new Fear Expo. So Fear Expo is moving to Atlanta next year. And
if I am invited, I will go.
You're being invited.
Oh.
You're being invited, Jordu.
I love Atlanta. Of course I'll go. Anything Fear Expo does, I'm behind. They've been very good to me.
Nice. how has your artistic style and approach evolved over the years? Have you picked up any specific techniques or styles you have adapted recently?
Certainly not recently. I'm pretty set in my ways in terms of design work. But if I was going to say what my influences are, which is sort of your question, I would say that one of the first influences I had was Ray Harryhausen, who's a stop motion animator who did The Seventh Voyage of Sinbad and Jason and the Argonauts and Clash of the Titans, a million others. His style of monster design was very impactful on my young mind. Its simplicity and realism, he was a master. And then a little later, I became very enamored of the work of Dick Smith and Rick Baker. And then a little later after that, Rob Bottin. And I've been influenced by almost all of the makeup effects artists, Tom Berman, Craig Reardon. There have been so many, Jill Rockow. I mean, there's been so many artists that I've seen who have done such amazing stuff. You know, so you know, and I learned a great deal during my time in the industry. You know, I've learned a lot about painting. I've learned a lot about sculpting. I've just evolved, you know, as artists do. You know, you get better and better, hopefully, at what you do. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that answers your question.
No, it does. It does. Yeah. I was just listening. I was listening to all the inspirations, Rick Baker, all of them that you just collected over the years and inspired to look at their work and say, all right, I'm going to do that. That's really cool. We have a question here. It says, in Jordu Schell's opinion, who's the best sculptor currently on the face of the planet? That's cobwebs and candlesticks.
I honestly don't know all the sculptors on the planet, so I would be hard pressed to say any one person.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know there are. I mean, I assume this person means still living. There's a guy I follow on Instagram. Damn it if I can't remember his name. But he worked on what was that movie? Poor Things. Is that what it's called? With Emma Stone. This guy, I wish I could remember his name. I feel so bad, but he is.
Is it a movie?
Yeah, Poor Things is a movie that came out with Emma Stone. It won a bunch of Academy Awards.
Yeah, Poor Things, yep.
I think it might have won the Academy for Best Makeup, too. But Josh Westcott, I think is his name.
Okay.
I think his name is Josh Westcott. But he is absolutely phenomenal. I mean,
really?
Yeah, he's simply an incredible artist. I mean, he did this little sculpture about this big of Willem Dafoe, like about half scale, third scale. I mean, it was the spitting image. It was just unbelievable. It looked like alive.
Wow.
He's done a lot of really beautiful monster sculptures and creature sculptures. I mean, he's just top of the list to me.
Right.
I mean, there are so many incredible sculptors. One of the greatest sculptors that I think I've certainly ever met, unfortunately passed away several years ago. His name was Matt Rose. Matt's probably biggest claim to fame was sculpting the head of the Predator.
Wow.
He and Steve Wang. Matt was working for me when he died. It was so sad. But Matt was a genius. There's no doubt about it. And Matt was Rick Baker's right-hand man for decades, since like the late 80s.
Mm-hmm.
And he sculpted the Predator head. He sculpted the Gillman from Monster Squad's head, which is an astounding sculpture. And then he did this in his like early 20s. I mean, the guy was on another level.
Wow.
I mean, there's so many artists I've seen that just blow me. I can't really say for sure I don't know all the sculptors in the world.
Right.
You know, but I mean, of all time, probably Bernini or Michelangelo or somebody like that.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Jean Carpeau.
Okay. So I want to ask you about Mask Fest. I know Mask Fest is like the thing to go to, especially if you love masks. I've seen you on the roster there. How is it for you being at Mask Fest?
Well, Mask Fest is so exciting because I'm with my people there. They're full-on nerds for masks. Most people know the full history of masks, and a couple of my very best friends in the mask community. One guy is named Justin Mabry, who runs Trick or Treat Studios.
Love Justin. Yep.
And Justin and I can talk about mask history for hours.
Oh,
I mean, it's so nerdy and so beautiful. I mean, if I bring up a mask, go, hell yeah, I know that mask. He's from the South. He's from Mississippi. He says, hell yeah, I know that mask. That's a great one. That was done, I think, by Bill Malone in 1977. You're like, damn, yes, It's like being with my people, and people who are enthusiastic about masks, up-and-coming artists, people you've never heard of that are geniuses. There's this one kid who's so young. He's probably still only like 23 at this point. Who's an absolute friggin' genius. I cannot remember his name. I've even bought masks from him. He's so talented.
And was he at Mask Fest when you saw his work?
Yes.
Was it Jordan starts with a P? Because that guy, he's great. I love his stuff. His name is Jordan, but his last name starts with a P. I gotta try to find it. But yeah, that's awesome. So what's next in your pipeline, Jordu schell? What do we got? What's next for you?
Well, I'm working on these masks right now for a company. I do work for all kinds of, as a freelance artist, I'm a whore. I'll do whatever comes my way if the price is right. I did some really exciting, fun work for VFX Creates recently.
Yes, let's go. VFX Creates, let's go. Yes, you did that. Listen, I've seen the work in the parking lot of barbecue place.
Yeah.
I was right behind you.
Yeah, I forgot you were sitting there.
I don't know if I can say it. I gotta keep my mouth shut, but you can say it.
No, I can't. I mean, I'm not gonna
okay.
Blow up.
You're not gonna give us an exclusive on that, but let me tell you guys, that thing was awesome.
Pat just had me do a series of about 5 or 6 new puppet heads.
Yeah,
which are very exciting. I was very excited to do them. He let me have a lot of freedom on the design. We got along really well. I think there were a couple little technical problems because I hadn't really done these puppets before. But Pat figured it out. Yeah, I mean, there was a great company to work for. Pat's super cool and super easy to work with.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to the next time I work with Distortions Unlimited, of course.
Yes.
Yep. But yeah, I mean, I'm always around, always freelancing for whoever contacts me.
Yeah. So
and I want to put the word out, by the way, about there's a bit of a misnomer that I am grotesquely expensive. I'm not cheap, but I'm not that expensive. So anyone out there who's interested in having me do stuff, contact me. I'm not
right.
People think I'm like 50 grand a week, or I mean, I've heard some
because
shit.
Because of your resume, and let me just say this:
you're worth that much.
Look, you're worth that much. So I get it, but you guys out there in Hauntland, Horrorland, listen. Jordu schell is telling you guys, if you guys want him to do some work, which that would be amazing. Contact him, reach out. Where can we find you, Jordu schell?
Well, you can contact me through my website, which is jorduschell.com. JORDUSCHELL.com.
Okay.
You can write me through there.
Okay. There you guys have it right here. Jordu schell, thank you so much for being on the show. We do appreciate you for the time and just hearing your stories and your inspirations and everything that made you so cool. Thank you for being on the show, and I appreciate you. And I'll see you on Yep, That's Scary.
All right, guys. Thank you for having me.
Thanks, Jordu. We'll see you again real soon.
Bye-bye.
Whoa! Whoa! Whoa!
Wow!
Whoa! Two. Listen. The one thing I love about being on Fear Expo is that the amazing people I get to interview. Like, two, we got Jeff and Jordu schell. Just,
I tell you,
I learned so much, and just listening to everybody and just their passion. It lights a fire, in me. Like, watch out.
Well,
I'm gonna start making some skeletons that go bump in the night, or just moving some things around. Watch out, Jeff! I'm gonna come with a puppet.
Oh man, I tell you, it was a great night.
Yes,
we promised that we won't run over 9 because a lot of people want to see the debate. So we went a little over 9. But it was worth it tonight.
It was worth it. Yeah, it was worth it. And when Jordu schell says he's out, he's out. Like, he was like, bye.
He was the one who was like, I gotta be done by 9. So.
Right. But I didn't want to rush him. I mean, he was really thinking, and I wanted to listen. So, but what a great show, guys. All right, I gotta see what's going on with this debate too, because I'm just gonna keep it to myself.
Okay. Well, I tell you what, it was great having you on here, Will. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Loved having Jeff on here. Loved having Jordu.
Yes.
Loved having all of you who tuned in tonight. Appreciate all of you.
Yes, thank you for watching, guys.
2025, we're bringing it to you twice. We've got HauntCon in Atlanta. We've got HauntCon in Orlando. And we will be announcing the West Coast show pretty soon as we get that. But that will be the beginning of 2026. So
wait, are we going to announce that?
No, we ain't going to say anything yet. We're getting it out there. We got to send some contracts.
Yeah.
What debate? The debate between good and I don't know. Anyways, I'm not doing that.
All right, guys.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Jeff, again, thank you so much. And thanks, Jordu, for coming on here.
And thank you, Jeff. You guys have a good one.
Take care, everyone. Oh, stay spooky.
Stay spooky. I forgot about